Good morning, everyone. This is Dr. Padma from Bleds. So, we had talked about free radicals in the other video and how free radicals cause a lot of damage to our cells, to the mitochondria. But thankfully, we have a lot of antioxidants which are produced within our cells. Like last time, we talked about superoxide dismutase, catalase. These are some enzymes which help in degrading those free radicals. But there are other antioxidants too, and one of the very good and main antioxidant which is being produced inside our body and which is called as melatonin. And we're going to talk about melatonin today. We all know of melatonin as a sleep aid. It is the one which is produced and it induces for us to go into that slumber in the night. But how is it produced? It is produced by our pineal gland, and pineal gland gets activated by a nucleus through a nucleus called suprachiasmatic nucleus, which is again a small region present in the brain. And that suprachiasmatic nucleus is usually kept in check by this retinal ganglion cells. So in the daytime, when the light is falling on the eye, it stimulates this retinal ganglionic cells, and these cells they communicate to the suprachiasmatic nucleus and tell them it's not time yet, it's not dark yet, so do not produce the melatonin. So they are controlling the pineal gland. But what happens as it gets to be evening and then darkness and night time, slowly there's no more light. So these ganglionic cells are not stimulated anymore. So suprachiasmatic nucleus now is not getting any inhibitions from the retinal ganglionic cells. So tells them now it's time for the pineal gland to start producing melatonin. So that's what happens. The melatonin production usually starts going up around 8 to 9 in the night, goes peaks in the night, and then starts slowly falling as the time for sunrise. During sunrise, the melatonin levels are pretty down. That's why you wake up from your sleep as soon as the sun rises. So this is the whole thing again, the same thing, light and pineal gland, and the melatonin is produced from the tryptophan. Tryptophan is the raw material for the production of melatonin. Now, melatonin is good for sleep, and we said it. So sleep, we all know, is a very, very reparative mechanism. All the repair, the cleanup of the body happens when we are sleeping. So that's why that 8 to 8 hours at least of sleep is important for the body to recuperate from all the stresses that has happened during the daytime. But till recently, it was thought that melatonin was only produced in the night. But now scientists are saying that melatonin actually is produced more during the daytime, and that is not produced by the pineal gland, but it is actually being produced in the mitochondria of all the cells in our body, or let's say most of the cells in our body, the cells which have mitochondria. So how is it being produced? Because it is being stimulated by the infrared part or the near infrared part of the sunlight that penetrates through our skin into the cells, into the mitochondria of the cells, and it stimulates an enzyme called cytochrome C. Part of this whole system of cellular oxidation is the cytochrome C. So anyway, the cytochrome C helps in the production of melatonin inside the mitochondria. So the sunlight, the solar spectrum, we know has got the ultraviolet light and the infrared light. Anything beyond this violet part of the visible spectra is the ultraviolet. Anything beyond this red part of the visible light is the infrared light. So this part of the infrared light, it penetrates through our skin, and that causes the release of melatonin. So what does melatonin do in our cell? Well, that acts again as an antioxidant. So melatonin, 95% of the melatonin is being produced inside the cell thanks to the infrared light from the sun, and that acts as an antioxidant, and it mops up all the free radicals which are being produced during the digestive process. After the digestion, glucose enters into the cell, into the mitochondria, and then that has to undergo electron transport chain. There's many reactions happening within the mitochondria to finally produce the ATP, which is the energy currency. But along with that, many free radicals are produced. So that free radicals, which could, if left as it is, it can cause damage of the DNA and probably kill the mitochondria itself. So we need to have some checks and balances in place. And nature has provided us this melatonin, and that acts as an antioxidant and takes up this free radicals. So that's one of the reasons, another reason for us to be more in the sunlight, so that we get our umpteen amount of infrared light, and that infrared light can help in the production of more and more melatonin. And another thing I wanted to stress about as we're talking about melatonin is melatonin, the production of melatonin is reduced if there is blue light. So in the night, we want more melatonin production, right? Because you want to go to bed, you want to sleep, have a good restorative sleep. But if you are exposed to more blue light in the form of, the cell phone or TV signals, TV and all, when you watch, or lights can has more blue light in them, and blue light part of the spectra can again stimulate, if you remember, if I as I was just telling you this, these ganglionic cells which are there, they will get stimulated again if there is blue light in the evenings, in the night. So if you're watching TV, or if you're looking at the phone, then there's blue light being emitted by that phone and by the TV, and that stimulates the retinal ganglion cells, and that again will talk to SC, the suprachiasmatic nucleus, and will tell the pineal gland, no, there's light, and so don't produce melatonin. So you do not want to do that. You want to be, especially in the evening, it is better to have lesser amount of blue light. But the red light from, say, the fire, if you have a campfire, or the dusk time, the sun rays during the dusk, all these are the red part of the visible spectrum, and that actually will also kind of soothe you, and that will in fact will not reduce the melatonin production. They will not stimulate the ganglionic cells, and so the melatonin production is not affected by campfire, or even by incandescent lamps. Incandescent lamps or incandescent bulbs are better, especially in the night, because you want to go to bed and sleep well, right? So another reason for you to get out and be out in the sun more is you can increase your melatonin production in the daytime inside the cells, and in the night you want to be away from light like the blue light, and so that your melatonin production should be increased. You want to be away from that, and you can be, if you really have to be working, or you need some light, it's better to have the light from an incandescent bulb. Thank you, and I hope you understood this, and we'll do some more videos about melatonin and about vitamin D and all those things in the next couple of days. Thank you. Bye.